You're watching Story Scroll. Real stories, raw emotions, and endings you'll never forget. Let's scroll into today's tale.
I, 32M, have been married to my wife, 29F, for 4 years, together for 7. For most of that time, I thought we were one of those couples people envied. We laughed easily, traveled often, and could talk about anything. She used to be my best friend, the person I wanted to share everything with. Lately, though, it's like I've been living with a stranger. She started pulling away slowly. It began with her spending more time on her phone, brushing off conversations with, "Just scrolling, don't worry about it." Then came the girls' nights, which got more frequent. I'd try to ask how they went, and she'd just give one-word answers or say, "You wouldn't understand." When I finally confronted her about being distant, she sighed and said, "I just need some space. You've been too needy lately." That one hit hard. I didn't think asking my wife to talk to me was being needy, but I backed off, hoping she'd come around. Instead, she only seemed to drift further away. Last Friday night was the breaking point. She said she was going out with her best friend, Mia, for drinks. No problem, they do that sometimes. She left around 8 p.m., dressed up more than usual, in that red dress I hadn't seen her wear in years. I told her she looked great, and she just smiled faintly, said thanks, and left. Hours passed. Around 11 p.m., I texted her asking if she was okay. No response. Midnight came and went. By 2 a.m., still nothing. I tried calling once, twice, 5 times, straight to voicemail. My gut twisted, that sick feeling of knowing something isn't right. We share locations on our phones for safety reasons, so I opened it. Her dot wasn't near the bar she mentioned, it was at a downtown hotel. My stomach dropped. I stared at the screen for a long minute, then took screenshots. I didn't want to jump to conclusions, but deep down, I already knew what this was. I stayed up waiting. Around 5 a.m., I heard the front door unlock. She stumbled in, smelling like alcohol, and not just alcohol. There was cologne mixed in, not mine. She froze when she saw me sitting on the couch. "Where were you?" I asked quietly. She rolled her eyes, tossed her purse on the table, and said, "Don't start, please. I just needed a night to feel alive. I got the attention I needed." That sentence, those words, they hit me like a punch to the chest. I sat there for a few seconds, trying to process what she'd just said. My heart was racing, but I felt strangely calm. I stood up, looked her in the eye, and said, "Good. I hope it was worth it. Your bags are packed." She blinked like she didn't understand. "What?" "I packed your things," I said, gesturing toward the hallway. "They're by the door." At first, she tried to laugh it off. "You're being dramatic. I didn't mean it like that." I just handed her my phone and showed her the screenshots of her location at the hotel. The color drained from her face. "Are you seriously tracking me now?" she said, her voice rising. I said quietly, "We both know where you were. I didn't need to track you. You gave me the evidence yourself." She started crying, saying she didn't mean it, and it's not what it looks like. Then came the excuses, that she just went there to talk, that he's just someone who listens, and that nothing physical happened. I looked at her, and all I could think was how familiar that line sounded. Every cheater in every story starts with, "It wasn't physical." I told her I didn't believe her, but even if I did, it doesn't matter anymore. "You humiliated me tonight," I said. "You told me you needed space, and now I see what you really needed. Attention, validation, excitement. That's fine, but I won't be your backup when that attention runs out." She fell to her knees, sobbing, trying to grab my hand. "Please, don't do this. I was lonely. You've been so distant lately, and I just wanted to feel wanted again." I pulled my hand back and shook my head. "I was distant because you pushed me away. I tried to talk, remember? You said I was needy." She begged for another chance, saying she didn't cheat technically. I just laughed bitterly. "You came home at 5 a.m. from a hotel, reeking of another man, and you want to argue semantics?" At that point, I told her I'd already called her sister. She'd be there soon to pick her up. She looked stunned. "You told my sister?" "Yeah," I said. "Someone needs to make sure you get home safe, wherever that is now." She just sat there, crying, mumbling things I couldn't even make out. I didn't yell. I didn't insult her. I just felt empty. It's like something inside me finally broke, but the weird thing was, there was also peace underneath it. When her sister showed up 20 minutes later, I handed over her bags and quietly went into the bedroom. I could hear them talking in the hall, her sister whispering something like, "What did you do?" before they left. I sat in bed until the sun came up, staring at the wall, wondering how everything fell apart so quickly. Now it's been a few days. She's texted me a few times, saying she's sorry, that she made a mistake, and that she wants to fix things. I haven't replied. I don't even know if I can. Part of me still loves her, or at least loves the person I thought she was. But another part of me knows that once trust dies, it doesn't come back. I keep replaying that moment in my head, her standing in the doorway at 5 a.m., mascara smeared, saying, "I got the attention I needed." Maybe I'm being too harsh. Maybe people make mistakes. But maybe this is also what self-respect looks like. So I'm asking Reddit, am I doing the right thing by ending it here? Or am I walking away too soon from someone who just lost her way? Update 1. It's been about a week since I made my last post, and I honestly didn't expect it to get the attention it did. I read through every single comment, and I want to say thank you to everyone who took the time to share advice, empathy, or even just a "you did the right thing." I didn't realize how much I needed to hear that until I did. My wife moved out the day after everything happened. She's been staying with her sister, who, to her credit, hasn't tried to guilt me into taking her back. The house has been quiet, too quiet sometimes. You don't realize how much noise another person brings into your life until they're gone. The sound of footsteps in the kitchen, her humming while making coffee, even the pointless bickering about TV shows. But there's also peace in that quiet. No anxiety about when she'll be home, no second-guessing every text she sends. I've been throwing myself into work and the gym, trying to get out of the house whenever I can. I even booked a few therapy sessions to help me process everything, something I never thought I'd do. But I guess life humbles you in strange ways. Reddit helped more than I can explain. Seeing so many people share their own stories of betrayal and recovery reminded me I'm not alone in this. It gave me strength to hold my ground when the guilt started creeping in. A few days after she left, I got a call that changed everything. It was Mia, the same best friend my wife claimed she'd gone out drinking with that night. When I saw her name flash on my phone, I hesitated. We weren't close, but I answered anyway. Her voice was shaky. "Hey, can we talk? It's about wife's name." I didn't say much, just a cautious, "Sure." She took a deep breath and said, "I can't keep lying anymore. She wasn't with me that night." It was like the air got sucked out of the room. I just sat there in silence, waiting. Mia went on to explain that my wife had been seeing someone from her office, a coworker named Ethan. According to Mia, it started a few months back after a work project brought them closer. Late-night texts turned into harmless lunches, which turned into excuses to stay late at work. Mia said she'd confronted her about it once, but my wife told her to stay out of it. That night, when she told me she was going out with Mia, she was actually meeting him at a hotel downtown, the same one I saw on the location tracker. She told me it was just a one-time thing, Mia said, but I don't think it was. Then she sent me screenshots of their texts, messages between my wife and Ethan. My hands were shaking as I scrolled through them. "Wife, I can't stop thinking about you." Ethan, "You deserve better than a husband who doesn't notice you." Wife, "He means well, but he doesn't get me. You actually listen." That last message broke something in me. He actually listens, not like my husband. I don't know why that line hit so hard. Maybe because I did listen. I just didn't say what she wanted to hear. I tried to fix things, tried to understand her, but you can't compete with someone who only shows up for the highlight reel of a person's life.
When Mia finished talking, she apologized again and said she felt awful for keeping it from me. I thanked her for her honesty. After hanging up, I sat there staring at the wall, letting it all sink in. Oddly enough, I didn't feel anger this time, just relief. Like I'd finally been handed the missing puzzle piece to my confusion. All those late nights, the coldness, the excuses, it all made sense now. I wasn't crazy, I wasn't paranoid. It still hurt, but at least now I knew the truth. A few days later, my wife asked to meet. She said she wanted to talk things out. I agreed, not because I wanted reconciliation, but because I needed closure. We met at a small cafe. She looked different, tired, pale, like she hadn't slept much. As soon as we sat down, she started crying. "I messed up," she said. "I did something terrible." "I know," I replied. "Mia told me." She looked startled, like she didn't expect me to know the full story. She wiped her tears and admitted that yes, she had been seeing Ethan for a while. At first it was innocent, then emotional, and then a mistake that went too far. She said it didn't mean anything, that she was just confused, and that she still loved me. I asked her why. Why risk everything? Why throw away a marriage for a guy from work? She said she felt unseen, that she wanted attention, affection, excitement, that I'd become emotionally unavailable. I laughed softly, not out of mockery, but out of disbelief. "I was available," I said. "You just stopped looking." She tried to reach across the table to hold my hand, but I pulled back. "I'm not here to fight," I told her. "I'm here to tell you it's over. You'll get divorce papers soon." She begged, cried harder, saying she'll go to therapy, cut contact with Ethan, do whatever it took. But I'd already made my peace. I wasn't angry anymore. I was done. I stood up, left a few bills on the table for my coffee, and said the last thing I'll probably ever say to her. "I hope you find what you're looking for. I just wish it hadn't been at the cost of us." Then I walked out. Since that day, I've been focusing on myself. I joined a hiking group in town, started reconnecting with old friends I'd lost touch with during the marriage, and even picked up photography again, something I'd stopped doing because she said it took up too much time. Every morning, I wake up to silence, but this time, it's not heavy. It's peaceful. Therapy's been helping too. My therapist said something that stuck with me. You can't rebuild trust in someone else, but you can rebuild trust in yourself. And that's what I've been doing, trusting myself again, trusting that I made the right call. She's texted a few times since, saying she's sorry, that Ethan doesn't mean anything, and that she wants to fix things. I haven't replied. There's nothing left to fix. I realized something important. Closure doesn't come from them apologizing. It comes from choosing yourself. I chose me this time, and for the first time in months, that actually feels okay.
Final update. It's been 6 months since my last update, and honestly, life feels unrecognizable in the best way possible. The divorce finalized last month. It went surprisingly smoothly, all things considered. My lawyer made sure every message, every screenshot, every piece of evidence was documented. Once her attorney saw the extent of the affair, the hotel logs, the texts, the call history, she didn't even try to contest it. We had a prenup, something she used to roll her eyes about when we got married. I remember her joking, "What, you think I'm going to run off with half your stuff one day?" I used to laugh with her, never imagining that exact clause would later protect me. The infidelity section was ironclad. Because she breached it, she lost claim to a few joint assets, including the car I'd bought her last year. My lawyer handled everything with quiet precision, and when the paperwork was done, I signed the final page feeling lighter than I had in years. A few weeks later, she messaged me. It started with, "Hey." Then came the wall of text, apologies, self-reflection, regret, the same song every cheater eventually sings. She said she was so sorry for what she did, that Ethan ghosted her after promising a future.
Apparently, he got transferred to another branch right after the affair came to light at work, and word spread quickly among her coworkers. Her reputation took a hit. She ended the message with, "You didn't deserve what I did to you. I'll always regret it." I read it once, then archived it. I didn't reply. Not out of spite, but because there was nothing left to say. I had already said my goodbye months ago. Her words couldn't undo what she chose to do. After everything ended, I decided I needed to rebuild, not just my life, but myself. I took some time off work and started traveling, short trips at first. Hiking trails, national parks, coastal drives. Being out in nature reminded me how small my problems were compared to the world's vastness. For the first time in years, I felt like I could breathe. I posted a few pictures online, nothing special, just me on a mountain trail, smiling. It was weird seeing comments from old friends saying things like, "You look happy, man," or "Glad to see you doing better." Because I was, slowly but genuinely. I reconnected with people I'd drifted away from during the marriage, grabbed beers, laughed again, learned to enjoy silence without anxiety. I even started dating. Nothing serious yet, but enough to remind myself that not everyone out there is broken. One woman I met through the hiking group has been great, kind, grounded, funny in that quiet way that makes you feel at ease. We're taking it slow, and that's exactly what I need. Some nights, I still think about everything that happened, but not with anger anymore, more like reflection. I realize something important. Peace feels so much better than passion built on lies. I used to crave her attention, her validation. Now I crave stillness, truth, and simplicity. When you stop chasing closure from someone else, you finally start finding it within yourself. Then came the part I didn't expect, the poetic justice. A few weeks ago, I stopped by a cafe downtown. I was waiting in line, scrolling through my phone, when I heard someone say my name. "Hey, you're OP, right?" I looked up. It took me a second to recognize him. Ethan, the coworker, the man she'd risked everything for. He looked nothing like the guy from the photos I had seen. He'd lost weight, dark circles under his eyes, suit a little too loose. He looked drained. "Yeah," I said, cautiously. He gave a weak smile. I just wanted to say I'm sorry. I didn't know she was married when it started. She told me you two were separated." I nodded slowly, not saying much. I'd imagined this moment before, how angry I'd be if I ever saw him. But standing there, I didn't feel anger, just pity. He kept talking. "When I found out, I ended it. But it was too late. Everything blew up at work. HR got involved. I lost the promotion I was up for. And well, you probably know how that went." I didn't, and I didn't really care to. "I just wanted to say," he continued, "you didn't deserve any of that. I screwed up. We both did." I looked at him, and for the first time, I saw not the guy who'd ruined my marriage, but another broken person living with his choices. So I said, calmly, "We all learn lessons, man." He nodded, looking down. "Yeah, some of us, the hard way." Then he left. I ordered my coffee, sat by the window, and watched people pass by outside. It hit me how far I'd come, from sitting on my couch waiting for my wife to come home at 5 a.m. to sitting here in peace with no one's lies to untangle. Life has a funny way of balancing itself out. She chased excitement and found regret. I lost everything and found myself. People keep saying time heals all wounds, but I don't think that's true. Time doesn't heal. You do. Time just gives you the space to decide what kind of person you'll become after being hurt. I'm not bitter anymore. I don't hate her. I don't wish her pain. I just don't wish her anything at all. Sometimes I look back at the man I was, the one sitting there that night hearing her saying, "I got the attention I needed." I guess she forgot. Attention fades, but self-respect doesn't.
Thanks for watching Story Scroll. Hit that bell and stay tuned for the next story that will move your heart.